Good morning, Tigers! Welcome back to another great week in the middle school. This is going to be a crazy week because there's so much cool stuff going on. And so I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit more about what you can expect throughout the course of the rest of this week. But before we do that, let's start our morning meeting the way we start every morning meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance. This week brought to us by Jewel Rock, along with Evelyn Valencia. Jewel, Evelyn, take it away!
Hi, I'm Evelyn. And I'm Jill Rock. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Great job, Jewel. Good job, Evelyn. Thank you for doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's kick off the rest of the morning meeting. But first, a reintroduction to Mr. Corson, because you're probably wondering, who is that handsome devil? I've never seen him before. It's just me. I shaved my face, and I don't get to see all of you, and you don't get to see all of me when we're wearing these things. And what was below this was a beard for a long time, but now a clean-cut Corson. What do y'all think? Handsome dude. Props to me. Moving on to props. We got a couple props to give today. The first one goes to, it's a group prop. So collective props. Props to the 8th grade reps. Props to the 8th. That was a weak clap. Let's do that again. Props to the 8th grade reps. Oh, so much better. Props to the 8th grade reps for pulling together a really cool, like, Miss Doyle, like, pep rally on Friday last week. That was so cool. And right now, speaking of so cool, this is going to be an ice hockey pun. Props to Miss Doyle. Another weak clap. Let's do it again. Come on in the studio. Props to Miss Doyle. Props to Miss Doyle for being away at sort of the Stanley Cup for women's NHL. She is up right now, as we all know, competing and representing the great state of Connecticut as the captain of the Whale in her final season as a professional athlete and a founding athlete of the NWHL. Miss Doyle is up there competing and representing Country Day as well as the rest of the state on the ice. And so go get them, Miss Doyle. And again, props to the 8th graders for pulling off an awesome send-off for Miss Doyle. It was a really fun day on Friday, a really fun recess. Next props. Oh, this is a big one. All right, so look alive here, Miss Bix. Look alive, Mr. Parsons, everybody in the studio. Props go to all the middle schoolers. Props go to all the middle schoolers for making it successfully through midterm week last week. It's kind of a stressful week, and a lot goes into that. A lot of prep happened to make sure that you were ready for midterms, and everybody showed up and crushed it and did an awesome job. We closed out the semester in a really, really successful way and without any days of closed school. The whole first semester, from the first day of school to the last day of the first semester, we were here live and in person every single day. Maybe not all of you were here live and in person every single day, but school was open, and we're going to keep it that way as we move forward in the second semester here. So props to Country Day too. Moving on to a couple announcements here. We got a few things to touch on before we get into the rest of the Monday morning meeting broadcast. The first one is sort of a serious announcement. I am going to make an appeal to the whole middle school here that you behave yourselves and make good decisions and exercise cautious and responsible judgment. As many people know, there were some missteps last week that resulted in a number of kids having to be moved through our disciplinary process. And what makes matters even worse is that the behavior that they exhibited that caused them to go in front of our disciplinary system was behavior that was harmful to themselves and harmful to the trust and the integrity of the trust that we enjoy in the middle school. Everybody is a part of the culture and the system of trust and the sense of belonging that we feel to this place. And so if you're not doing your job to uphold that trust, it's going to create a rift between the middle school and the kind of community that we want to be. And so please make sure that you're continuing to live up to your end of the bargain outlined in the Student Code of Conduct. In addition to that, please make sure that when others are struggling to do that, that you're minding your own business about it. You don't need to be asking a bunch of questions, poking your nose where it doesn't belong. Sometimes people make mistakes and get in trouble, and it's not so much the trouble that matters, it's what happens next. And so if you ever get in trouble, getting yourself up, brushing yourself off, and moving forward in a healthy and productive way is what you should do. If someone else gets in trouble and not you, you should give that person the space to do that very thing and leave them alone about it. So stay in your lane. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Next announcement. All of the announcement about schedules and all of the course change sort of ad drops that are being requested recently, especially around the arts. When we switch from the first semester to the second semester, some classes change and electives get switched up, and so do art classes, art electives, and the required art classes. There are so many options in the middle school for electives in the visual arts and in tech and CME and making. More options than exist in most schools. You all are so lucky to have access to this amount of opportunity. And so even if you end up in a space that's not your first pick, you should enter into that space with an open mind and give it a chance. Even if it's not your favorite thing, you should stick with it because you're going to learn something in there. And it might be something you're not going to have an opportunity to try again, at least no time soon. And so please, let's tamp down all the, oh, I didn't want to take this, or I don't like this class. Let's definitely put an end to that. Let's also put an end to rushing up to Mrs. Perone's desk and saying, can you please switch me from this to that? Imagine doing that a couple of times for each kid across like 330 kids in the middle school. It's just an unbelievable task that Mrs. Perone performs so well so that you have a great schedule in your hands and a great middle school experience. So at this point, all the schedules should be treated as cast in stone. Whatever class is on your list is the one that you should be attending, and you should be attending that class with a sense of gratitude. Next, this week is the teach-in. For some of you, that's going to start today in your science classes. Freedom from Chemical Dependency, who is a group who will be here to talk about drug and alcohol addiction, experimentation, peer pressure, all these kinds of things. They're going to drop into some number of your science classes throughout the day today. Also, tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have some special programming following a morning of traditional academics that'll allow us to focus on digital citizenship and health and wellness, and also, and this is a segue to my next announcement, prep for the student-led conferences, because those are coming next week. Like I said last week, these 3 weeks are a busy 3 weeks. And so next week, after we do the teach-in this week, we will do student-led conferences. And I promise that what you don't want to happen next week is for you to get your student-led conference and feel like, oh my God, I haven't done anything to prepare for this. There's going to be a lot of time built into the week this week during the teach-in for you to get ready for student-led conferences. And there will still be some things for you to do next week before the conferences start. Remember that student-led conferences will start Thursday evening at 5 o'clock. They'll also run through the day on Friday. We will not have school in person on Friday. We won't have school at all on Friday because we'll have conferences on Friday. You'll participate in those conferences via Zoom. If possible, you want your parents to be in one room of your house. You want to be in another room of the house. You're going to be on a screen. They're going to be on a screen. Your advisor is going to be on a screen, and you will do a virtual student-led conference. That's what that'll look like at the end of next week. So that's it for the announcements here. We're moving on to the rest of our weekly program. And we're going to pop over here. Oh, cool. Lex Greenblatt is here to tell us who's celebrating a birthday in the middle school this week. Lex, take it away.
Hi, I'm Lex, and here are the birthdays for this week. In 6th grade, we have Whit Anderson, Kevin Politi, and Jackson Lieberman. In 7th grade, we have Maisie Johnson, Julian Tube, and Parkin Overbay. And in 8th grade, we have Carson Powell, Natalie Simpson, and Jackson Girardi. Happy birthday!
Woohoo! Great job, Lex, and happy birthday to everybody celebrating a birthday in the middle school this week. Moving on to our man, Jack Miller, is about to get your belly rumbling. Jack Miller, tell us what's coming out of Dr. Clark's kitchen this week. Jack Miller, take it away.
Hey Tigers, just looking at the beautiful snow. It's a great day for it. I'm back with the weekly lunch announcements. So on Monday, we have penne marinara. On Tuesday, we have ham and Swiss croissants. On Wednesday, we have chicken wings. And on Thursday, meatball subs. Have a great week, Tigers.
Great job, Jack. Let's jump over here to Marco Favuzzo, one-man show this week talking about holidays in and around the world and in and around the middle school. Marco, tell us, what are we celebrating in the middle school this week? Marco, take it away.
Good morning, Tigers. These are the holidays for this week. Monday is Opposites Day. Tuesday is Australia Day. Australia Day commemorates the arrival of the first fleet of 11 convict ships from Britain. Wednesday is Chocolate Cake Day. Thursday is Data Privacy Day. Friday is Puzzle Day. Saturday is Croissant Day. And Sunday is Backwards Day. Have a great week, Tigers.
Good job, Marco. Next, our penultimate segment of the weekly Tiger News is the Riddler back in action. Nate Smith, riddle me this, riddle me that. Tell me, what was the answer to last week's riddle, and what is this week's riddle? Riddler, Nate Smith, take it away.
Hi everyone. The answer to last week's riddle, which was what it belongs to you but other people use it more, is your name. This week's riddle is what is full of holes but can still hold water? I'll tell you the answer next week. Have a fun week, Tigers.
Great job, Nate. Moving on here. Oh, getting some breaking news here. I got Miss Bix in my ear from the control room telling me we got from Game Plan Advisory Studios. Mr. Leday and Miss Moore have a plan for us in advisory this week that they wanted to cover. And so let's jump over to them and we'll see what we should be expecting in advisory this week. Mr. Leday, Ms. Moore, take it away.
Hey everybody, Mr. Leday and I are here to talk to you a little bit about an advisory activity that we're going to do during the Teach-In Week next week. So before Christmas break, Mr. Leday and I were sitting around talking about the pandemic and COVID. And in some ways we were excited because this vaccine is here and we're hearing from scientists that it's so effective and the rollout has begun. And you may even know some people who have received the vaccine, maybe a parent, a guardian, a grandparent. So in some ways there's lots to be excited about with the light at the end of the tunnel that maybe we can start spending more time with these people that we love in a safe way. But in the meantime, we're going to have to be patient. And we started then talking about winter. And sometimes for some people, the days can seem short and it's kind of cold and we haven't been able to see our friends as much because of COVID. So we started talking about ways to be intentional about making our days satisfying and happy and doing things that are good for us. So we were talking really about self-care. And then we came up with this idea of everybody at Country Day coming up with their own game plan.
Yeah, I love it. So think about your personal game plan. So what does that mean? So for me, I like to think of it as, let's say, 3 things that I like to do that make me happy, that bring joy to me, right? Especially after maybe a long day. So for example, I love to cook and I love to bake. So if I can get in the kitchen most days during the week, that makes me super excited, makes me happy. I also like to, if I could get a game of basketball in during the week or get some hoops by myself, that makes me happy, watch a game on TV. But I think it's also important that I
sort of participate in those things that, like, even in that moment we were talking about, like for me, exercising makes me feel really good. In that moment, do I really want to do it? Do I want to get out of bed early and go downstairs and exercise? No. But I do know that it makes me feel good. It makes me feel centered. So really thinking about some of those things that you can do, even if you don't really enjoy them in that moment or thinking about it, that centers yourself and makes you feel good. So that kind of mix, like Mr. Leday was saying, of joy, what we know brings us joy, and also trying to fit those things in most days that are kind of good for you. So that's really a sneak peek at what we're going to be doing next week, and I hope you have a fun time doing it.
Bye-bye.
Great job, Ms. Moore. Great job, Mr. Leday. Looking forward to advisory this week and getting ready for next week, as we discussed earlier on. Now it is time, without further ado, to get to your favorite segment and mine. It's the weekly Luke Merrill's Tiger Tongue Twister Challenge. Luke Merrill, tell us, who were the winners of the last week's Tiger Tongue Twister Challenge, and what is this week's Tiger Tongue Twister? Luke Merrill, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We had a great week with so many submissions, and here are the top picks.
Doctor, doctor's a doctor, does a doctor doing the doctoring, doctor as a doctor being doctored wants to be doctored. When a doctor doctors a doctor, does a doctor doing the doctoring, doctor as a doctor being doctored wants to be doctored. When a doctor does a doctor, does the doctor doing the doctoring, doctor as the doctor being doctored wants to be doctored. Woo! Yeah.
Great job, guys. Now in second place this week, we have Oliver Jackson. And in first place, Katie Culvahouse and Christina Estock on the leaderboard again, taking everyone else down. That was Mr. Parsons, not Miss Bix. We miss Miss Bix, but she's still here. Okay, and our shout out, our funniest one, goes to Mr. Spencer, Rami Raman, and Oliver Jackson again. Congratulations, our first teacher on the leaderboard. We hope to see more teachers out there soon. This coming week's Tiger Tongue Twister is Wayne went to Wales to watch walruses. That was even hard for me to say. And we have to do that 3 times. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.
Great job, Luke. Thanks so much, and congratulations to this week's winners. Hang on, breaking news. It's Miss Bix again from the control room. She's telling me that we had 10 submissions. Nope, not submissions. 10 subbies in 24 hours. 10 different people in a narrow 24-hour window of time submitted a Tiger Tongue Twister for this week's competition. 10 subbies in a short period of time. That's amazing. This week, you're going to have much more time, and so I'll bet we can increase that 10 by 10-fold. And that's it for another great week of Tiger News. Going to sign off here, broadcasting pre-recorded from the basement of the middle school in the makerspace at WTGR Studios. I'm Mr. Corson. We'll see you in the halls.